What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with some Mariners news to talk about on this Monday afternoon. Before we get started, if you're new here, hit the sub button. If you're not, or hit the like button as well. If you aren't new here and you're enjoying the videos, please hit the like button. Um, Helps me out a whole lot. It helps my videos get out to more people as well. So thank you to everybody that's done that already. Truly, truly appreciate it. Mariners are calling up their number 2 overall prospect and their top pitching prospect, Bryce Miller, to make his major league debut. He will start tomorrow night in Oakland against Mason Miller. So we'll have a Miller on a Miller matchup. It is Miller time in Seattle. So Bryce Miller is coming up. Obviously, it's a name that I've discussed in some previous videos that could be a candidate to come up with the Robbie Ray injury being out for the year. I've been a little hesitant. Just one, Miller's numbers haven't been that great, and I thought maybe that was something you'd wait till more of later of the year. But here's a couple things that have changed, obviously. I wasn't as gung-ho about bringing Miller up when Ray initially went down because we thought Robbie Ray was going to be back. So you're looking to fill in at that point 4 to 6 starts, and at that point, Chris Flexen, Tommy Malone, whoever it is, makes the most sense to fill in those spots. Well, now Robbie Ray, obviously, and I've said it countless times, but now Robbie Ray is out for the season. So now you're looking for 140 innings or so to fill. It's not just a couple spot starts that you're needing to take care of. You're needing a full-on another starting pitcher. And of everybody the Mariners have that can somewhat be ready to go, Miller has the most upside to give them the most chance of being a legitimate middle to top of the rotation starting pitcher. Tommy Malone is serviceable. Chris Flexen has been bad, but can be serviceable. But all those guys have very limited upside. Whereas Bryce Miller potentially, could be Logan Gilbert, George Kirby type that gives this team a legitimate boost. Now, Miller's numbers in AA are not super impressive. Opponents have hit him to the tune of an 879 OPS. His ERA is 6.79. And the strikeouts are down a little bit too, 18 and 19 and 2/3. But something that a couple of the Mariners people have mentioned, including Daniel Kramer on MLB.com, is that some people are saying that Miller's been working on some stuff. So it's not so much that he's been trying to go after results. They've been working on some things with his pitches, working out some kinks. And that makes a lot of sense too. So I'm not super worried about the numbers being poor. That's super common on guys, in spring trainings in MLB. They know what these guys can do. Hey, work on in this situation just throwing your splitter. In every 2-2 count, I want you to just throw your splitter to see how it is for an out pitch. I'm not saying that's what they've done, but stuff like that does happen with guys like that when they're not as worried about the results. So Miller will get the call up. Like I said, the Mariners' number 2 prospect, overall their top pitching prospect, and MLB Pipeline's 90th overall prospect is Bryce Miller. Obviously, I've heard a couple people say it's a desperate move by the Mariners here, trying to rush up Bryce Miller. But here's the reality of the situation the Mariners are in right now. They've lost Robbie Ray for the season, which sucks. Chris Flexen was the immediate fill-in. They kept Flexen in the offseason as the 6th starter, knowing that, listen, they probably weren't going to be as fortunate with the injury as they were last year in the rotation. They kept Flexen. Flexen's been really bad. His ERA was over 10 in his 4 starts that he's made. They talked about him going to the bullpen, wanting to work on some things. I think that's smart. They're just going to keep doing that and let him be kind of the long man. They brought up Easton McGee. Did a great job in his start in Toronto, 6 2/3 and no hit ball. He got hurt. So yeah, you know what? It's not desperation, but they are desperate. Like, they need someone to come in to fill the spot. Flexen didn't get the job done. McGee's hurt. And like I said early on in the video, Bryce Miller gives you the most potential upside of any of the guys down there. Maybe Emerson Hancock, but Hancock's a little bit behind Miller just with some of the injuries he's been through. So he's not quite as MLB ready as Miller. And, Wu only has 74 minor league innings as well. So that's why I think Bryce Miller's getting the call here. Like I said, and Miller might struggle. I don't know. I'm not saying Miller's going to come up and dominate or anything like that. But again, if you're trying to fill the shoes of a very good top of the rotation starting pitcher in Robbie Ray, Miller's going to give you the best odds of probably duplicating something similar to that. This is where, you can keep rolling out the Flexens, the Malones, the Easton McGees. And like I said, I'm not picking on those guys, especially not McGee because he was fantastic in his first start. But the upside is just super limited. You're getting a fifth starter. Now, Bryce Miller might not even be that good. I don't know. He might be a fifth starter as well. But there is potential upside there. And for a team that's shooting to get to the postseason, that's shooting to try and win the division, you got to go with the guys that have the higher upsides if you're trying to replace Robbie Ray. They're not trying to replace Marco at the back end here. You know what I mean? They're not trying to replace someone in that vein. They're trying to replace a top of the rotation starter, and Bryce Miller is going to give them the best odds to give them that production. My light keeps going in and out here. Always seems to do that Robbie Ray gave them. So I think, initially I wasn't in favor of bringing up Miller, but that's also when I thought Robbie Ray was just going to miss a handful of starts. So I didn't think there was a need to bring Miller up and maybe send him back down. There's like 25 starts now that are out there to be made. Easton McGee's hurt, so he can't really be the guy right now. Flexen just, didn't have it, when he came up as a sixth starter. So yeah, the Mariners, there is some desperation here, but it's not, I don't think, a desperate move necessarily. It's just, this is what's next in line, and this gives them the best odds of success. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on with it, and I forgot what I was going to say. I think, and I was going to say, I applaud the organization for doing this. They could have been stubborn and kind of rolled with Flexen, been like, nah, Flexen's okay. We don't want to push anything here. And I know some people are going to look at it the opposite and say, are you going to praise him for maybe rushing Miller a little bit? I think I am, because a lot of teams would have waited another month. They would have given Flexen 4 or 5 more starts. And I think they would have given Easton McGee another start here. But, he's hurt. At this point, Miller is the best option. Now, if Miller struggles, then you can look at the trade market. As long as, you're still in contention here, then you go out there and see, okay, who do we need to get? Who can we go out there and make a move for that we have the ammo to get? But it's worth a shot to see if Bryce Miller is ready and can handle it. Because if you can get that Logan Gilbert 2021 impact, that George Kirby 2022 impact, I don't think he's going to be that good. But, in that realm, essentially, then you may not need to add another starting pitcher. You might be fine, because now you have Castillo, Gilbert, Kirby, Miller, and Marco on the back end, and you should be okay. So, soft landing spot for Miller, too, in his first start in Oakland against a struggling ball club. Doesn't mean he's going to dominate. I wouldn't expect him to in his first start. I want to see strikes. I want to see the stuff look good. If he gives up some bloops here and there or whatever, I just don't want to see him get beat up. But Miller's got a shot to cement himself in this rotation for the rest of the season. So, and again, it is the best upside move of anybody that is available for the Mariners. So hopefully it works out for them. I'm excited to see Miller make his debut tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. I will see you guys, you never know, maybe later today with something. If not, for the post-game recap for the Mariners tomorrow night as they take on the A's. Have a great day, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your Monday, and I'll see you all later. Peace. Go M's.